This is National Chess Master Rats continuing my video series on the correspondence team match played between my video lessons group and the team CARPE DIEM. This was played on board 136. Our lady is 366 Anna, and she has a high 1600 rating versus a low 1600 rating, and she won both games. Let's have a look. Okay, we have the King's Gambit. It follows theory for a little bit. I don't know all the book. That's your guys' job. If you're going to play these openings, you get to look them up. And somewhere right around here, we depart theory. The game basically is essentially even. Black is holding on to the pawn, but white is trying to put some pressure. Here the idea is to play d5 and attack the pin knight, messing up the black pawn structure. Black can get out with a6 after d5. But let me explain. Say you play knight e7, d5. You play a6, the bishop comes back. You play d5, b5, then white captures this, and black captures on a4, and the black pawn structure is in pretty bad shape. But a6 just kicks that bishop out now and drives it back to the diagonal it came from. Black needs to complete her development. But at the same time, black can win a pawn here, and this was perfectly good. Maybe white should have captured on c6 after a6, because black is now going to win a pawn. And black has 8 pawns, white has 6. But the game's still up in the air. You know, black still hasn't castled. Needs to get that taken care of, and she does. Okay. Now black needs a little territory here. Queen d7 is an idea, but you can't then follow up with c6 because there's a knight fork. This also puts the king and queen in line for potential knight fork. You want to think of these things in advance. It's possible that that could come up. If the bishop gets to c3 and this bishop gets traded off, who knows? So c6 seems to make sense. And white elects to capture. And there's bishop c3. Now black plays to try to attack the king. Not a bad idea, but at the same time, the black king's a little loose here too. Even though black is up 2 pawns, his king position is a little loose here, and for what it's worth, white's got pressure on. Well, let's draw this way. Get rid of that one diagonal. White's got pressure on 3 diagonals here. Assuming he can jettison this e pawn. Here, I got rid of him too quick. Whoops. Right click, don't left click. Okay. I just want to draw these diagonals. That's a lot of pressure that you do need to think about, because if these lines open up, white could get some incredible counterplay real quick. And I play a style of chess that tries to keep you from getting counterplay and leaves you just sitting there trying to defend a position. But g4 does seem the right idea at some point. Maybe black should think about getting her development complete first, but we have to admire her for going this way. But here, I think black misstepped. Need to take this right now, and I'll show you why, because white misses something here in a little bit. Okay, queen check. And here's where white bungles the game away, I think. I think queen c3 gives white some winning chances. See, the first thing is it protects this bishop, and this bishop's now going to try to run out of there, keeping white a piece up. So black needs to take. And then white's going to win a piece. Okay, black will have some pawns for it. But what would you rather have? A piece or a bunch of pawns? Well, you want a bunch of pawns if they're all advanced and ready to roll. And black will have a couple of advanced pawns here, but I'm not convinced that he has enough. Okay, check. And if when either one of these advances, it's going to be blockaded, and White's getting ready to put a rook here and try to trade rooks, both sets of rooks actually, and then simplify and make these pawns advance, blockade him, and eventually zugzwang Black right out of them. I think White has tremendous winning chances in this position. That's my opinion. Anyway, let's back up to what actually happened. White played Queen F2, and now he's still trying to do stuff on the file, but Black has some resources. First, he gets the king off the file, and now he goes and pins that pawn so the bishop can get out of there. Maybe White missed this. Got to look a little deeper, folks. That's why I was working with one student today. Sometimes you get overeager and you think you're doing okay, and you just didn't look far enough, and then you see the refutation. Dang, why didn't I see that? Well, the reason you didn't see it is you probably moved too quick, or you just didn't take enough time to make sure you found it. Anyway, now Black is just crushing, has a crushing victory in his hands here. So the rook is pinned. It's going to be lost. White has no hope here and gave up the game. Okay, let's reset, flip the board, bring the other game up. What move will it start it out at? We never know until we click OK. Oh, look at that. Move 21. I don't know how it picks what move to start these games at. I really don't know. I hope version 3 fixes it. Okay, Rossalimo Sicilian. A6 may be a waste because usually when White is playing Bishop B5, White's committed to taking this knight. So let him take it, develop something. Move a pawn, move another pawn, move a pawn, develop a knight. I mean, other things to think about here. But I'm sure it's still a book. It's been played before. But when you can develop a piece, develop a piece. For what it's worth, Black has the two bishops, but the game seems relatively even. But White's going to start picking up a space advantage here. Here he kicks the bishop back and out of there. Maybe Black should have just returned the bishop pair, because Black starts struggling here to get his get any territory, and White's just going to take it all over. So Black jettisons a pawn, but he's going to get it back here in a few moves. There it goes. And now White has two pieces on pre, a bishop on f4 and a rook on a1, but that's okay. Stops and gives a check and tempos the queen, and then gets the rook out of danger. So here Black is getting kind of cramped, and now White's got a nice position with a lot of space, a lot of territory, whereas Black is kind of confined to pretty much the first and second rank. Even though this bishop's on the third rank, Black's playing a very cramped game here, and he's was unable to castle. His king is still caught in the center, and White just got to find position here, and Black really can't do much. Now White's trying to break the center open so he can get at the enemy king. And now White gives up a pawn just to keep the pressure on. So Black's a pawn ahead, but White's got all this boardroom, and White is definitely for choice here. The Black bishop is pretty useless. Black's fighting on here, but this bishop is pinned. Even if the king gets off the second rank, then the queen becomes pinned. So White's just picking up a very nice position here and going to win his pawn back, and there's nothing Black can do about it. And here, unfortunately, Black committed a horrible blunder and lost the game. We'll look at it here. See here. There goes the rook. Goodbye. And game over. So what could Black have done differently? Well, let's take this. Okay. Now, White now has an outside pass pawn, which will start running up the board momentarily. Black has, he's behind this wall of pawns. His only hope is to somehow try to open up the position where he can attack the White king. He's got to, but he still has to solve the problem of this pin. and he does have to open up some lines. It's a long way off. Let's just try one sample line. E5. Let's just do it. Okay, but White's putting pressure. Here's a problem with a pin. Now you're tied down to guarding that. Let's run this up the board. Okay, here's the open line we wanted, but the pressure on this bishop is tremendous. Okay, check. Is check threatening anything? Maybe. Let's see. A5. Okay, check. Check. Now, if you take this knight, you're threatening a perpetual check. So, yeah, the check was threatening something. I can't play A5. Let's just bring the knight back to F3. And Black's still trying to solve this problem on his second rank. Now that frees the bishop finally, but the pawn's advancing, and White's on the 7th rank. Suddenly, this move could create huge problems for him. There's a threat of check here, a check here. Black still had a difficult game. I think White would come on top. Anyway, well played, 366 Anna. You did very well. I want to thank everyone for watching these videos. Hopefully you're all learning something. That's the intent. Wouldn't be making them otherwise. All right, thanks so much for your time. Take care.